What's going on, everybody? We know you missed us. We back. We had to get. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a show to
Without a
go to.
brawl right.
But we here. It's your boys. It's Optimize. The game is in the building. I'm your host E Glaze with my homeboy Bobby J. What's going on, Bobby?
Hello, guys. How is everyone? No, I'm good, fam. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Glad to get back out here, man. And we've been talking about this subject for a couple of weeks now. Things
Yeah,
happen. Somebody celebrated birthdays and all that good stuff. We did birthday 3 weeks, 3 months late, but it don't matter. We did the
it's okay.
birthday.
We did it.
We
We
did the
did it.
birthday. Today, man, we want to talk about accountability in our communities and how does the lack of hurt our community or being accountable can help our community. I know that's something that somebody on one of us talks about. I think we both talk about it, but
I like how positive you are, man. I
yeah,
really appreciate that optimism, that optimized thing you do.
yeah, yeah. See, that's what the name. We optimize the game. You understand the game. I try to optimize the beauty around the game, which is probably no beauty in it. But we're gonna talk about that, Bobby. Know we got a lot to say about this. We're gonna approach it in a time where there's so much uncertainty in the world, especially with all the crap that's going on. And I know a lot of y'all are feeling it, the pain, that BS at TSA down there. I think that's one of the crappiest things I've ever seen. And
Ridiculous.
that's first world problems if you ever heard of first world problems. But
Right.
but now our community, this is I am not the most educated or well spoken on the past, but a lot of times I would always admire that even during hard times in the 60s, 50s, 70s, whenever you want to say it, early in times in the 19th century, you had your community to fall back on because they felt accountable for each other. Now, there was always going to be the sum. I mean, we were all struggling, but we had the community to count on. I don't know if we're as accountable now. I think we're all doing our own thing. And I start with you, Bobby. First question, get you going off the jack, get the juices flowing.
Oh, let's go.
What happened when there is no accountability in your community?
Let's see. Which data track would you like to pull? We can do the incarceration rate. We can do
Mm,
the murder rate. We can do the fatherless children rate. We can do the STD and sexual transmitted disease rate. We can
mm-hmm.
do the let's see, single pregnancy rate. We can do the lack of education rate. We can do the joblessness rate. I mean, you just pick a category that we sit at the bottom of,
Yeah.
and I think you'll get your answer. I think you'll get your answer. I
And
guess I
with
guess I'm
that,
about to start calling my pessimize the vision. I don't know, man.
yeah, yeah. Or the realist division. Some people,
Okay.
it goes to, um, I hear the questions a lot, and people, um, I always go to one song. We talk about it. We've been talking about it since I've known you. And Ice Cube said it many years ago on Death Certificate. Sometimes I believe the hype, man. We're messing up
Messing up
ourselves. Is like one of my favorite tones. And when I hear people say we can't do this in our community, I'd be like, we can. It
right.
just it's a difference of want to. Can we? Money is involved and things of that nature. So when we talk about it, when we see, and all those stats you are very real. Even when I was thinking about some of the things that are bad in our community, is the molestation rates and things of that nature, and
Yes.
with stuff of that nature, not protecting our women and doing things of that nature. That's when you want to hold a, a, a community accountable.
Right.
Has that been our biggest downfall? Not taking accountability, not taking control over our communities. Because right now, to me, again, I'm a suburban country dude. I can tell a lot of times that when we don't appreciate or take care of each other, we leave the doors cracked, and accountability leads for division. It leads for the standards. Our standards drop. Our talent go
Mhm.
wasted, and things of that nature. So break down what you see a lot when you hear these type of things.
Well, I one of the words and we use it almost interchangeably, and I think that's a mistake on our part. We talk about accountability like it's responsibility.
Mm,
Um, and those, I have I got an issue with that. I do think that we should be held more responsible,
mm,
because if we look at and I'm going to use a loose etymology of the word. I'm not going to get into the whole Webster's dynamic, but if responsibility is literally the ability to respond, then yeah, that I think our ability to have a response to a situation is in our hands. That's what we should be doing. If our children are acting out of sorts, I think we have an ability or should have an ability to respond to that accordingly. Now, when it gets to accountability, that is the ability to hold someone or something to account. That
mm.
means we got to hold someone or something to task that's outside of ourselves. And
Right.
that is where I think the problem begins to happen. That a lot of the situations, we just quoted Ice Cube. Um, a lot of the situations we find ourselves in, I'm hesitating because I don't want to get your show cut off.
It'll probably be done anyway. So go ahead.
You're right. I don't think we've held anybody to account for what's happened to us on this planet.
Ooh,
Now,
true.
that, yeah, so we have to start with the responsibility. We have a responsibility to take care of our women, take care of our elders, to take care of our children, to take care of ourselves, to eat well. But if we don't begin to hold people to account for poisoning the food, if we don't hold people to account for um, Epsteining our girls, if we don't hold people to account for attacking sovereign nations and stealing resources and disposing elected leaders, if we don't begin to hold people, we're just going to continue to respond in a way that's counterproductive. And I think that's where we're finding ourselves right now. We are 400 plus years in response to something that we've never held an account for.
Mm. Is that lack of responsibility? What has made it? Do you feel like it's decreased over time as it went
Oh, yeah.
to where we? Because right now you make a good point. If we're not even holding ourselves responsible for this thing, it's going to be hard to hold some other people accountable, and that's
Exactly.
where I guess the concern is the
Yeah.
lack of responsibility to work so that you can hold accountability. That's why you see sometimes people laugh, man, you ain't getting nothing. When I hear the word, no offense, reparations, I believe we should. But I'm
Right.
like, we ain't even got to gathering to do the easy, the simple stuff first, which is being a strong community, so that when we
Right.
do hold them accountable, we are at a good point. So, Bobby, what do
Be-
you feel at this point in time our communities are with this particular issue of responsibility?
I think that we it has worsened. To answer your initial question on that,
Mhm.
yeah, I think we've gone down a slippery slope over the decades, into where we wanted to become the parents that provided everything for our children that we never had. And
Mhm.
materialism became that much more important, which loosens our responsibility for rearing and for holding our children accountable to certain things, because it was all about what can I get, what can I get, what can I get.
Mhm.
And now that we've gotten to this point that our children hold zero respect for us,
Mhm.
um, because they see not only how we've operated in a level of hypocrisy, and how we tell them go do this, go do that, and then they see us getting our tails kicked on a regular basis at the workplace, at the church. We just we look like a bunch of hypocrites in their eyes, and so now that level of respect is just nil, and it's
Mhm.
difficult to hold someone responsible or hold someone to task when they don't respect you. Um,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, that definitely been a downhill slope for us.
With so much going on, and keep it in the accountability, respectability, and things of that nature with this topic. Are Are we avoiding accountability because we don't want to be seen
Ooh,
unsupported? Do we avoid it? Do we not? Um, like for instance, we talked about our home. We want them to have the best future. Okay, like, there's a lot out there. There's some issues. There's a lot of people that's still going to fight against you. People won't even have that conversation no more about the system might hold you down. It might be some issues systematically that you don't want to hold an accountability. You just need to go work hard. I never really, HBCUs, I love them to death. And I've seen some of the most
yeah.
intelligent people I've ever seen. But sometimes we looked upon as, man, that's just HBCU. And I'm like, no, there's some really brilliant people in there. So do we not respect or hold our community at a high enough level to where we can then begin holding others accountable, even ourselves accountable throughout this whole thing?
It leads back to the initial statement though, and I don't want to be the yes I do. I'll be the dude that keeps going. Oh, you always want to blame the system, and you always do. Until we begin to look at it for what it is, it's us going, hey, we're not eating healthy. We're not eating healthy. We're not eating
Right.
healthy. And then
Right.
no one takes into account, there's that word again, that you've been living in a bubble where they're keeping not only healthy foods out, but ensuring that the poisonous shit gets in.
Yeah.
So why are we blaming the people who are sitting in an area that they've been sitting in for generations? I'm not talking about a day or two, or man, you grew up and you couldn't get. I'm talking about I know people directly that have been in food deserts and
Yeah.
uh, projects and
Yeah.
poverty-stricken areas for grandparents, children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, all been raised in the same projects. That's not a I'm not being responsible. That's something systemically wrong. Something's happening
Right.
there that no one wants to
Right.
take into account. That being said, at some point, yes, a person is holding your head underwater, drowning you. At some point, you have to be responsible for your own life to say, get the off me, or I'll have to hurt you myself. And
Right.
that's where I think we got to get to that point. If we don't, we're just going to drown.
What keeps us from that point?
Fear. We're
Yeah.
scared to death. We are scared. We're,
I just wanted you
it's
to say it.
okay.
I just wanted you to say it.
So my environment's changed today. I'm sitting in our school building, and I remember one of the greatest quotes I heard about the school system. Now we run an independent school. We're private, so we deal with
Yeah.
other things. But the quote was, from a public school standpoint, is that I think the way they said it was the superintendent is scared of the school board. The
Mm.
school board is afraid of the teachers. The teachers are afraid of the principal. The principal is afraid of the parents. The parents are afraid of the children, and the children ain't afraid of nobody.
I ain't scared of
And
nobody.
so, and so that is the cycle that we're in. Our level of fear and apprehension, we don't think we're good enough. We don't
Mm.
think we can. We
Mm.
don't think we have the resources. We don't think we have the ability. And so we sit in this state of perpetual fear, trying to hold ourselves responsible. It's like saying, okay, um, I, my legs have been amputated, but I have to hold myself responsible to learn how to walk. Eh,
Right.
Now, you might have to hold yourself responsible to learn how to get around. You might
Right.
have to hold yourself responsible to learn how to commute from here to there. Walking, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, and then it goes back to um, you hear the word breaking the cycle. That's what I'm kind of thinking. You're saying each one of them growing up in the same place, doing the same thing, repeating the same thing over and over again. Uh,
Yeah.
so who sets the standard then? Who sets the standard in the community so that we can, I hate the word break the cycle, but improve our community, improve our accountability, improve our responsibility so that once things go down, we're ready to at least cope. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to be selling plasma and and get stuff like that to make
Amen.
ends meet, because we get to a point where we depend on we a lot of us live check to check. A lot of us
Yes.
live, we lose anything, we're done. And there's pretty much a, where can you go to get that thing? So who sets the standard in the community?
Can I answer a question with a question? I don't normally do that.
All right.
But when you were growing up, who said it in yours?
My
Think back on it.
family. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
there's one. Who else?
Oh, I feel like it's a trick question, but go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. This is not rhetorical. I'm really just asking out of pure, wanting to know because it's different for each community.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have seen in quote unquote successful communities that there's a tight family structure that mom and
Yeah.
daddy, whether they were together or separate, mom and daddy set a standard. Okay,
Right.
you were expected to meet that, and when you didn't meet it, consequences were met. There's a
Yeah.
word. Um,
Yeah.
in addition to that, you had some, you have not had, you have some level of spiritual leadership. I don't care
Mm,
if a preacher, if it's a
great point.
minister, if it's an imam, if it's a head of a temple, doesn't matter. There was some kind of love that you held in respect and in high esteem that set a standard. And if that standard wasn't met, you had to answer for that.
Yeah.
Um, there was hood dudes. Like
Yeah.
you had some street hustlers that, hey boy, you better get your ass to school. Like there was a level of, hey, I'm not gonna cross this line. This ain't for you. You need to go on and go the other direction because they knew, you had something moving in a positive direction. They weren't gonna let you come down this road. This is our dirt. I know Kevin Garnett tells that story all the time when he was growing up in Chicago. Like there was dudes that was like, nah, KG, you going to play ball. You don't come. I know you want to go get some, XYZ, but nah, this ain't for you. And so
Yeah.
that then he respected them enough that he listened. So, and if he didn't, there was some accountability.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that I think in my community, that's kind of how it was. I know ministers that I talked to when I was growing up, my mom and dad, I talked to my older sister, teachers that I still
Yeah.
hold in very high esteem. But that was because, and I'm going to say it this way, all of those people I named, whether they was old heads and hustlers on the corner, or the candy lady that lived up the street, or the teacher, all of them held themselves as an adult to me. They weren't trying to be my peer. They weren't trying to be
Yeah.
cool. They weren't
Mm,
trying to dress like us. They were, I'm grown. You're not. This is what I can give you if you're willing to accept it. And if not, then you're gonna bump your head and you have to deal with it. That is where we're missing this the generational gap. I won't say it needs to be closed. What I'll say is that it needs to be connected.
mm,
I think there should be a generational gap. I think there should be some differentiation between my daughters and myself, and
absolutely.
myself and my parents. Like,
Absolutely.
but the moment we try to be partner, buddy, friend, twin, pal, all of that, we got to do better than just. They looking for guidance. They're looking for some sage wisdom. They're looking for somebody to say, "Hey, this is how I messed up," or "This is a good way to go about it." You can take it or not, but this is who I am and how I operate. And if you want to get to where I am, then do this. Maybe the problem is they don't want to get to where we are.
And that's a big thing. I think you brought up a good point, and I'm glad you said it that way, because I was just thinking the other day, there's no distinction in elders. Like when I look at
Right.
uh, a former civil rights leader or somebody who did that, I'd be like, ooh, I just heard the story of a lawyer in Birmingham, Alabama, who doesn't want the publicity, but he just did. And you look at him, it's respect. And you talk about it from parents to teachers to church people. It don't feel the same. I feel like everybody just one group. And it's
Yep.
like, I don't know if we've taken away that. I don't know if the access has changed that of what we have, the access of seeing everybody, to knowing everybody. I don't know if this need to be liked, quote unquote, on
Hmm.
social media, or trying to get the newest trend, or are we trying to make the money? It's great to see Bronny and LeBron play together, but it don't feel like Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. play. It don't
It
feel the
doesn't.
same
It
because
doesn't.
you saw Ken like he was the dad. Like, yeah, come on, son. Bron, like that's my team, and it's a different feel. And I don't know if it's something that Generation X missed, to where we
Yeah.
work so hard to blend that circle to not be the mean line setters, a line so that you can't step over the line, but there is no fear.
Yeah.
The people. You're right. There were people that were doing some questionable things, but they look at you and they were like, "Unks, our uncles were different. We
Yeah.
just, hey, unc, you mine. Look, nephew. It was different talks, man. It was different
Yeah.
talks. Now, uncle in the car hanging out with nephew, and it's like, hey, there is no division in it. So now we are. Sometimes I feel like we count on the young people to get us out of situations instead of us already being leading them out of situations. So that's a great point. I never thought of it like that.
How,
So
how heavy? How heavy is this? Think about it. I'm gonna ask you from your perspective. How
yeah,
heavy would it have been for you, for your parents to look at you and say, at 18, at 17 years old,
yeah,
Emmanuel, we could sure use some help with this mortgage.
mm,
That's heavy.
that's heavy.
That's- and it's heavy for a kid. And so, like you said, to your point, for us to look at these children and say, hey, we're in a mess as a people. Can you help get us out?
Yeah,
They're just trying to figure out this whole world out, and we asking them to do the heavy lifting.
yeah.
Come on, man. We got to do better than that. We got to do
And it,
better.
and I don't want to sound like a prude, get off my lawn dude, but there's no fear or respect from this current generation to our generation. I'm not saying everybody. And you don't have to beat the hell out your kid to get respect. You don't even have to
Right.
respect. Nobody touched me except for my parents when it come to butt whoopings. That's it, my grandma. But I had respect for my principal, teachers, and it was
Yeah.
just go to
Yeah.
church. The mothers on one side, the deacons on the other side. It was just, how you doing, sir? It was just a respect thing, and I don't know if it's there now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have just came to this point when it comes to our community that, and again, guys, we don't want to generalize all our community. I'm sure some communities out there are thriving.
Of
We
course.
know
Of
they are
course.
thriving, but there are still, I can take you to a lot more that aren't thriving and they're missing things. Um, and to let y'all know, just to give y'all a little background, me and Bob both run. I see at school now. He's also running name of the game chess. I'm manually optimized division, and then we can see the missing parts when we do what we do with our work. That where's the accountability? And it still sometimes feel awkward when I see people miss the manual. I'm like, ooh, because that's the respect they've built for us.
Right.
So if nobody is setting the tone, Bobby, nobody's doing what we used to do, because I feel like monetary and got involved in everything from teaching
That's it.
to Sundays at 11 o'clock to Saturdays at 11 o'clock, whatever you want to call it, has the chasing the money crumbled the accountability.
It's
Put it
funny
like
that
that.
accountability and accountant have the same root word.
Sound word, same word, same word.
Oh man, yeah, dude. That the money game has. I won't say it's messed things up because money is a tool. I get it.
Yeah,
But you show me where you put your energy, and I'll show you what you love. And way too many of us have put all of our energy into money, 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 money,
mm,
by any means necessary. To
yeah,
paraphrase the great Michael, and that's a problem. So
yeah,
you can't. It's the reason that I'm having trouble watching professional and or collegiate sports now.
yeah.
Um, it, it, you go back and watch an All Star game in the '80s. It was an All Star game.
Yeah.
They was trying to, but now, I mean, and I'll be honest with you. If I got a 7 year, $120 million contract, I just don't know how hard I'm playing. I just really don't. I, that's more money than I would have ever expected to see in 7 lifetimes. So what do I care?
Yeah.
Um, and that's the scary part.
Yeah.
That if you extrapolate that out to education, to entertainment, social media, it it's just all about how much. There's no purity in it. There's
Yeah.
no stake in the game. I just want to get. I'm trying to get paid. I'm just trying to get paid to do what?
Yeah.
To do what at that point?
Yeah. I know we always talk about living for the now, but dang, y'all really be living for the now. Y'all
Right.
really be we're gonna party till this thing fall off, dog. And it's like, okay, and it brings me to this another question that I feel like is happening more now, and probably a future show topic will be uh, held like this. But why do people resist accountability? Why do they not? They don't want to be a part of. What is it that they are? We resisting it? Or are we just not trying? Which one are we doing right now in this day in 2026?
To actually give people a bit of a reprieve, I'm gonna say this. Um, I think it is a resistance, and I think that resistance is natural
Mm,
because here's the hit. If they're telling me, all right, Bob, you got to watch your blood sugar, or you got to watch your blood pressure, um, so I need you not to eat X, Y, Z,
mm.
and I'm rolling right up to the next chicken spot. Why is it so hard for me to? Because it's two piece. And all the fries you can give me.
Yeah, I'd ask for no coleslaw. I
So
said fries.
double fries. But that's the problem. The
Yeah.
problem is it's hard. We don't like to do hard stuff. The
Mm,
the natural inclination of, if I can go out and pick some oranges or some berries off a tree or a bush and eat that, I'm good. It's much harder to go kill a wild boar. And I'd shoot. Now, some people do it, and that's how we kind of progressed or what have you. But we don't like doing the hard stuff. We don't. We do it because it's necessary, but we don't like it, so we resist. That's why when we have the big projects, we wait to the last and like, God, I don't want to do this. But we know we got to, but we wait till the
got to.
very last second to get it done
Right.
because we're dreading it. Accountability, I believe, works the exact same way. Where it's hard to hold ourselves, to look in the mirror and go, you got to do better. You could have been better than that. You could have done more. That's difficult. I just rather just look in my phone and go, ooh, see what I did, see what I did, see what I did. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. Play.
Yeah.
It's like playing the little Candy Crush games versus playing a full game of chess.
Yeah.
It's easy to get that win on the Candy Crush. Instant
Yeah.
gratification.
Yeah. I ain't got time to be thinking. And I think now
Mm,
you kind of brought up a point where it you can tell the problem with community. I am a believer of inner thought, of inner creation. If we're not holding our own personal self accountable, then how can we create accountability in the community? A lot of us don't want
right.
to look in that mirror and say it's our fault. We don't want that.
Mm,
We want to say, yes, they put up a McDonald's right there, but there's also a grocery store right there. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want that personal responsibility or accountability. So when it comes to community, how can you lead when you're not even leading yourself? So when it comes to that, Bobby, what has accounted for us to not even start with the personal accountability so we can grow into the community? Can we even do that if we're not have a community accountability if you're not holding yourself accountable?
I do not believe you can take anyone somewhere you haven't been. I just
Mm,
don't think it's possible. And so that in itself explains a lot about where our problems are. It's if we peel back to about late '90s, early 2000s, we had the old dudes and boy, pull up your pants. Boy, pull up your
yeah,
pants. You need to pull
yeah,
your pants on the ground. I made a whole song there. Boy, pull up your pants. Y'all need to pull your pants up. You know what?
yeah,
Okay, great. But then we watch these people and we're like, yeah, but you ain't, your car broke down. Your wife left you. Your kids don't talk to you. You ain't got much of a job. You have no
and you struggling.
retirement. You looking scraggly. You're struggling, but you're telling me to pull my pants up? Like, so again, if it's back to the whole respect thing. And if I can't respect you, I can't trust you. And if I
Right,
don't trust you, I won't listen to you.
right.
And so the respect, just like you said, the respect starts in the mirror. Before I
Right.
can, now, again, I'm not the Bible toter. It's not my job. But there is a verse, I believe, that talks something about a speck versus a log and getting
Mm,
the log out your own eye before you talk
yeah.
about the speck of somebody else's.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of us need to, you know, let's start there. And
yeah.
then if somebody has a spec and they see me pull a log out of my eye, they're going, "Hey, how did you do that? And how
Right.
can I do that too?" Now we're having a
Right.
different conversation.
And the one thing that we try to do on this show is not look at everybody else's culture. Because I like again, me and Bobby believe that we still gonna do what we gotta do. What we gotta do, and whether it's in football, you know, I gotta quit putting my chin out and be slapped. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I put a hand up for you before you slap me, or I do something like that, I just gotta keep putting my chin out. And but we do see in other there's levels to this. There's levels in the corporation. There's levels in everything. But so if I can, before I can tell somebody you need to pull your pants up. They got to be able to look at me and say, "Oh, his pants up. His this is up. He seems to be doing things. He's not lied to us. He's taking us in the right direction. He's giving us opportunity." Because if I'm not doing none of that, if I'm not taking care of that, we can't expect for the youth or anybody to do that. Damn it, Shaggy, I blame you when you said it wasn't me. I blame you when you brought all that up. Because people don't, they say it ain't my bad. You know, I always
Ain't
go
my
back
fault.
to the Will Smith Fresh Prince when his dad walked out. I'm like, why don't he love me? We got that's the stuff we got to have the accountability for, looking at ourselves in the mirror. Do you feel if
I'm
there's
gonna put a
still
pause on
hope?
you. I'm gonna put a pause on you before you get there. Hold that one because you just
Okay.
said something. And now I gotta ask you, and believe me, this is not me returning the put you on the spot thing. I'm not, I
Yeah, yeah,
promise you.
right, 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 right.
But where in your own world have you said, damn, I need to be held more accountable for that?
Ooh, it's crazy you asked me that. I'm going through a transition right now of things, just to let
Okay.
I'll say it like that. And for the first time in a while, I've been able to say it's on me. I haven't did
Mm,
that a lot. I usually find the greasy stuff and find something, but not to be a Bible thumper, but sometimes the quiet allows you to see the noise. And I've been seeing the noise. It took 52 years, but I'm getting there now to where I can say, oh, that was me. And it's tough because you want to blame everything, everybody, and this just be being truth. You want to blame the system. You want to blame the person who did this. You want to blame the money. You want to blame everybody. Just to be important, I
yep.
took a job not too long ago with the pure intention that I wasn't going to be here long.
Mhm.
I was there for a while, so let me just put it that way. Uh, and I can truly say I never went intending with intention to be great at that job or have an
Mm,
intentionality to do my best at that job. And that happens. And it takes you a while until you can say to yourself, oh, I ain't do that. I just recently understood that. Optimize the
mm,
vision. I hold accountability for myself for not being um, patient, letting it go, growing. Because again, I want to blame other people. I didn't get a grant recently. That's just I went down the you here go the list of excuses. I took every one of them. But guess what on that list of
yep.
excuses? Me.
Me.
So I had to say, "Hey," before I keep going down this list, did I do what was
Yeah.
needed to do that? And that's a great question. I'm glad you asked me that. In order for your community, which I call this a community program, to be where it can be,
Hmm.
you have to make sure you're doing the right things and holding yourself accountable so it can breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like we say we're
Yeah.
optimize the vision, we're the balloon, and what makes the balloon rise is the fire. You might want to make sure there's
Mm.
something that makes the fire light. And if you ain't filled the fire right, it's not gonna light up and it's not gonna rise. So you have to do those things to do that. So yeah, I will say I recently started to think, yeah, that wasn't their fault. You might not like what they did. Like the
Right.
man in the mirror. And I was able to finally say that thing that we always said recently. First time in a while I said it. Ever. I said that. You know what you told me to say?
Wow. I,
I said it
yep.
recently
Yep.
and I because I was going on, I was speaking with somebody and I said it and I knocked them off their feet when I talked to them. It was the first time.
Killer. Killer.
So yeah,
I
let's
love
say
it.
all that. Yes, I've just recently understood what this means. That's why this. I'm kind of glad we waited because I can see where that happens. Where if you take the accountability, the responsibility, and things for yourself, you're able to contribute that type of thing in your own community and for your own people and the programs that you might be a part of as well. So,
That's real. That's real. Okay.
what about
Solid.
you, brother?
Solid
What
answer.
about you, brother?
Man, we don't have enough time for me to go down that list, but but you did say something that kind of sparked a positive thought for me. I don't be so
Whoa, whoa,
so damn
whoa.
pessimistic. Right, right. Um, you said you went into that job and you never had the intention of being great at it.
Mm,
For the first time, I've gone into a situation that was my intent.
mm,
That when I stepped on the campus of Morris Brown College,
mm,
the only thing I said to myself was, I'm going to go be great for them. I'm going to be great for me. I'm going to give them greatness, nothing less. And it has exploded into some
yeah,
beautiful things on this campus. But that intentionality that you were talking about and the mentality, so for me, it was me getting ahead of the accountability. It
mm,
was me starting off with a level of accountability. For the first time in my life, I've held numerous jobs. I've been in
yeah,
various situations, done businesses, the whole nine. But this was the first time my intentionality of accountability said, go be great. Don't be good.
mm,
Don't do well. Go be great. And it's
yeah.
made all the difference. So I guess the short answer that's been my most recent spot that has shown me, you know what, accountability can work in some real positive ways. Responsibility, if you get in front of it and let that lead, instead of letting ego lead, instead of letting excuses
Mm,
lead,
mm.
let responsibility and accountability lead. It'll take you to some great places.
And it's funny you say that. Maybe this is what the second half of the show kind of leads us to because now we're saying, are there anybody in the community that's trying to be great, who trying to be? You mentioned it earlier. Don't see the people in our community that we say, "Ooh, that's who I want to be like. That's who we should or imitate, or whatever." Um,
Mhm.
because I don't know if we're trying to be great or trying to just make it or just trying to survive or just trying to get that next big deal or try to unfortunately try to sucker people into getting stuff done. Where's that
Right.
accountability that you take personally so that your community can
Hmm.
thrive off that? And I love what you just said. It's not ego driven. It's just like I just want to do this
Right.
right. I want to do this correctly. I
Yep.
want to do this. I want to go into not thinking about what it does for me, but what it does for the situation. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret for anybody trying to get a job. Quit trying to sell yourself. Try to sell yourself as what can you do for that position. So if you're not going into that
Yep.
and saying I'm trying to be the best, whatever account rep, quit trying to sell. Hey man, I sell water. No, what can you do for this particular job? So when we at this point, Bobby, for
That's right.
trying to hold our community accountable, it feels like we need to have people who just hold themselves accountable first so we can grow that accountability in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to your question right then, um, I was like you. I grew up saying, "Oh man, I want to be like this person or that person." There were some people that we held in high esteem, whether it was athletic or whether it was community or might have been music, it might have been professional levels, doctors, lawyers, all of that. Um, and I honestly, I am real 100% about this. Get you got me all into the optimism, dude. Um, that these people are still here. Like it's a lot of them. The key word that you said was we don't see, and that's
Mm.
it. The narrative that gets spun is all we see is the thuggery, the shamefulness, the destitute, the all that exists. We understand that, but the Cosbys exist too. A different world exists too, in the same vein as Boys in the Hood and Dead Presidents existed. All of
Yeah.
that existed, but when all we're showing or all we see, to your words, is the negativity, we lose sight of all of the visionaries that's going on. Um, that these people who are taking kids to Emory University and showing them that there's something else out here. We don't see these stories.
Yeah.
The kids who are going off to I saw so a guy was taking kids to an engineering contest,
Yeah.
and they had on shirts that said Atlanta engineers everything like that. We don't see that.
We don't. We don't.
So, but it's here. It's here, and we need to be intentional about focusing in on that.
And I love that, man, because it's, you know, every time I think that I'll be honest with you, hey, man, I ain't doing this no more, man. The main reason I built this, and I tell everybody, I know he's not greatest in the news right now, but Tiger Woods, I was sitting on the 18th green uh, at the Atlanta course, and I didn't see a lot of us there. And I was like, what if I got kids up in here to see it? Because why we build our things is that we are trying to change the vision. We want people to be looking at different things. And it's not trying to overstep where they're at. It is what it is. If I can give you one day out of a month just to break you away from the monotony, the current, that helps. That means instead of a
Yes,
100% chance of seeing bad, I got a less than 100% one day. I get to see something
one
different.
day.
Hey man, I needed this, man. You know how I say this every time we talk. Man, I needed this because look. I wore the shirt on purpose, so it needs to be uh, normalized that we are out there, and it's something about we'll talk about the controlling our own media. We've talked about that and giving the right
Right,
attention
right.
to these programs. Maybe that's what I'm here for more than anything. It's just not to
Yeah,
talk about these things, but to give a shout out to somebody, and give it some things like that. But I think in order to raise community standards, we have to put light on the ones that are doing better community standards. So not just selling for the status quo. That this is not our
yep,
community, though. I can promise you, whatever they say, the worst our community, I can show you the best on a whole nother side. We're lucky and blessed.
that's
Had lunch with a guy the other day, said he had a whole computer found in 100. He's one of the Rice people. Told me what he does, and I was like, oh my God, that's freaking phenomenal. Nobody knows. Nobody, I mean, people at Rice know. People are doing it. People are doing it. But nobody,
right.
we have to say, that what gives me hope about our community. I feel like I'm on a
Hmm.
tangent because now I'm all got a whole bunch of thoughts in my head. That's what happens sometimes. But
There you go. Let it go. Let it go.
our community isn't bad. It's not.
No.
I have so much hope. I meet so many people, and we do hold ourselves accountable. We do focus. We do
Yes.
fight. Unfortunately, we are fighting sometimes a lot of things, including internal fights. But
Most of it. Most of it. Yep.
but we do have a community that is trying to hold each other accountable. And I think sometimes We don't scream enough, but we just got to pick at a little bit at a time. How do we build a culture again? How do we keep a culture? I mean, we are doing it in our ways, but how do we build a culture of accountability for
You
ourselves?
know what's patience. Um,
Mm,
because how do how did they build the Great Pyramids? How
yeah,
did they build um, the Big Ben Tower in England? You know, how do you build all of these huge castles and
yeah,
one brick at a time? You
yeah.
lay one brick at a time. And
Hey,
so in an accountability level, there's a friend of ours, shout out to Ravona Mitchell and the Mitchell family. I love this family. And she would be more like an auntie to me, not quite as
yeah,
old as my parents, but older than me
right,
and my sister.
right.
And she and I had a conversation about a month ago. I just called her out the blue. She was on my mind, and we talked for about an hour. Hadn't talked to her in a while. And at the end of it, she said, um, "I told her, I said, hey, you got a great story, Mom. I said, you should write a book." And she goes, "I've been thinking about that, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to doing it one day." I said, "You know what? You just need somebody to hold you accountable, like
Yeah.
my boy Glaze did me." And I told somebody that story. I said, every time Glaze would see me, this is what accountability. You want to know how we build it? Just like this. Every time. I don't care if we was going out to eat, if we was going to a ball game, we was taking a road trip. It would always start out with, "Wow, what's up, man? Hey, finished that book yet? You know, the book, the one with the." And we would laugh, and then we go on about our day. But you never let a moment pass that you didn't just say, "Hey, just a little tap. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
we're on to the next thing."
Yeah.
And the day that I called you, the moment I finished that manuscript, it was like, dude, you never guess what I did. It was, but that's what it looks like.
Right.
How many years was that, Glaze? How many years did we do that?
Cause you sent me, you did it. Cause you sent me something, a little 2 or 3 chapter book, and I read it.
Uh
And
huh.
from that day forward, I said,
Yeah.
"How we doing with the book, Bobby?" I said,
Yep.
and I kept hitting you, or I might have started before then. It was
Yep.
about, I ain't gonna lie, Bobby. It might have been a decade, bro. I might be wrong, but
It might have been 10 years.
it might have been a decade, bro.
God, dog, it might have been. You might be
Cause I know
right.
I kept saying it year to year.
But
You just
that's
like
what it
leave me
looks
alone,
like.
man.
And here's the question: did you ever leave me alone?
Mm-mm. No,
Nope. Because that's what accountability looks like. It's consistent. It is consistently saying, "Hey, um, bruh, I love you. I care about you. But you got to get it done. Guess what I'm gonna do tomorrow? I love you. I care about you, but you got to get it done." Like that's what it has to be. We can't just look up one day out of 27 years and go, "I'm gonna hold you accountable." Nah, come on, man.
yeah, yeah,
So that's and now I'm doing that with her.
yeah.
That every day, just a little touch, because I saw it. I know it works. And so
Yeah.
if we can do this with our children, if we can do this with our businesses, if we can do this with our community, it's going to work. The math works.
That is. I think that's a good stopping point, man. Hey, I like that. That was what it is because I think
On a positive
overall
note,
we have to. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking to say, "Oh, woe is me. We can't do it." We can. We have, and we still are.
yep.
We just got to do the consistent. You did that book yet? Hey, have you built that
Yeah,
project?
yeah,
Have
yeah.
you have you created this? Are you still doing this? You know what I'm saying? People hold me
Right.
accountable, and I just don't be like, they like, "Hey, man, what's the Optimize doing?" Yeah, because they if it stops, they know what it can do, and sometimes
That's right.
you have to believe in it too. So, anything you want to do to finish this, Bobby?
Man, I'm with you. I thought that was a good note, man, to end on. Thank you for letting us end on a positive note because when we first talked about this, it's could have been a real negative thing. Glaze won't let me be negative all day, y'all. He just won't let me
Yeah,
do it. Uh,
yeah. I let you get it out
but
first, then I
no,
say, "Hey, man, can we finish it wrong, stronger than that? Can we?"
right,
Don't leave
right.
people. Don't lead people to the cliff. Say, hey, go that way.
Hey,
That cliff over
hey,
there.
there's a whole bridge over here, a whole bridge.
You get straight across to that. Just don't go that way. It's not going to take you there. Yeah, man, that's what we gotta have to,
Uh,
man. Bobby said it, lead by example. We gotta normalize honest conversation. I don't think we have honest conversation. We create safe spaces, but they're honest, and we can correct people, but let's encourage as well. People,
yeah,
we need to. You can be encouraging, accountable. It doesn't hurt,
yes,
dog. Dog,
yes.
look. I know you don't want to do it, but God, look what happens if you do. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? What happens if you do? Oh, it won't work. What if it does? What could happen? Because I know you see it, you doing it. So that's where we want to get to, man. And thank you all for listening. You can catch a replay this next Sunday. We gonna do it like that. Catch the clips right here, man. Optimize the game, man. I gotta learn chess too one day. But the chess
Go
master.
make that happen. We're gonna make
He gonna hit me on my shoulder. You playing chess yet? Where did he? My boy Bobby Jackson. That's your boy E Glaze, man. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
that happen.